to this week's angling vlog. Today you join me on the banks of the river and we're fishing the stick float in search of silvers. Now, as many of you can tell, in the UK we're in the middle of a couple of week heat wave, temperatures into the 80s, 90s from all day. The rivers are low and very clear and not much pace, and it's going to be a hard day, but just had to get out on the rivers. It's been far too long to get out on proper running water. The hope today is to get a couple of silvers, some chublets, some roach if we're lucky, and the ultimate prize would be maybe a chub. Going to be a warm day today. It's a blue sky above me. It's about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've done my waders, and if you look over my shoulder there, you can see I've got a bait waiting in the water. I'm really my keep net. We'll have a closer look at that in a minute. Obviously, because I'm in the water, it's going to make recording a bit more difficult today, so you have to bear with me. See how we do. The ultimate goal is not to drop my phone in the water. So yeah, setup wise, let's get into it. I've got my 14-foot Drennan acolyte, my Shimano technium reel, 4 pound 4 ounce float fish. I've got a 10 number 4 dome top float, and that's down to a 1/7 Bay of Pearl on hook length and a size 18 hook. Nice and simple. The lower hook length, obviously, because it's so clear, I can see the bottom all the way along. So yeah, dying to make that first cast. So just like in the other videos, there's a couple of stick float videos. I'll put one of them in the top right hand corner now. Just get feeding that swim. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the swim and where we're going to fish today. So that's the swim that we're going to fish. Obviously got loads of cover on the far bank, and that's what you're looking for. When the river's this low and clear, as you can see, it's like tap water. You're looking for cover and any shade, and when that sun gets up today, you can see blue skies already. It's going to be boiling hot day, and the key is obviously the fish going to be underneath the cover, away from predators. So we're going to be wading out a little bit into the water. I'm going to be stood there, got me landing net to that side. I'll push the keep net out a bit more when I get out there, and we're going to be aiming, casting here, and we're just going to be running that short line. And if you zoom in, you can see that there's not much pace to it, and that is purely down to the lack of water. We've not had rain now for probably 3 weeks, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get stood there. I'm going to start feeding maggots out there in that line, and hopefully we'll get a couple of fish over that short trot there. It's about probably 3 or 4 foot deep, I would imagine, if we're lucky. And on this inside line of this tree, really shallow. So we haven't got much of a swim to work with, but we've got plenty of cover, and that's the most important thing. Right, so side tray for today: Cheshire particle hemp, a couple of pints of maggot and some sweet corn. And while I've been setting the float, I've just been feeding hemp in line with the corner of the tree. You can see that little bit of lighter green right in the middle there, just there, so it slowly moves down. And maggot further up. I'd say different river than winter. Normally you get silvers, and the chub don't normally stay around. There's a reason why they call them winter haunts, but you never know. It's river fishing, and it's totally wild fishing, so you never know what you're going to catch. You catch whatever's in the swim on that day, but I must admit it's looking very inviting in that bit there. And very first cast, I bite straight away, You can see what it is, a little small chublet. And there we go, first fish of the day. And it is, like I've always said about stick float fishing, getting in that routine, put the rod down, feed. You can see there, nice fish just topped over there then. There's some nice fish about. Flick over. There's another one. Feels like a better one. Nice. Bending the rod. It's a better chublet. As you can see there, 2 fish in 2 casts, and bodes well for the day ahead, you'd think. But knowing this river, as soon as that sun comes up, it's going to get a lot harder. Again, just putting the rod on the keep net, just feeding. A pouch full of maggots upstream, and a pouch of hemp downstream. And this is where you've got the 10 number 4 shot, because you need the weight to get over there. So flicking the float over, that's got a bit further upstream, that. And this is normally how it starts. Bite a chuck, and then you get into a rhythm of getting your bites. And sometimes getting the better fish can be just because there's that many small fish in the swim. There's another one. Another greedy little chublet. That's right on the tree, that one. So it's a small fish. A lovely little roach. So you get the general idea there of what I'm doing. You know, the rod down, maggots. I'm not going to feed hemp this time because I put quite a bit in on the last cast. And then flick it over the top. There's a knock already. Quite a few fish in the swim. There's another one. There's like another chub. The reel ticking over nicely. A nice bend in the rod. This one's come round under my feet. Just grab him by hand. That's a solid chub, that. Little solid chublet, sorry. Look at that, fin perfect, not a mark on it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And that's why I love the river so much. It's just a different type of fishing to everything. You don't know what your next fish is going to be. And they're so neglected. There's no, barring the big matches like Rivermania, you don't see a soul on the bank. And as you can see, plenty of good fishing to be had. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set the camera up behind me and I'm going to enjoy it because it's the start of the season and I've missed it. So let's get the camera set up behind and get a bit of footage and see what we do. Right, and there's another different species to add to the list. So that's chub, roach, perch, gudgeon, and now a skimmer. Coming just a third of the way down the swim. So that chub there got some severe damage on it. I can only imagine it's a pike. It's on the back as well. Looks like where a pike's grabbed it across it, so might be something a bit more sinister lurking in that peg. Quite recent as well, it looks like. Hasn't half taken a chunk out of it. And what we'll do with this guy, we'll put him straight back, because he's had a tough time of it already, hasn't he? So let's put this guy straight back. Back he goes. That bit of the video there just shows just how good fishing on the rivers can be. Bite a chuck. Knowing this river like I know it, once the sun comes up, it might slow down. We have got a lot of cover in this swim, so we've got a good chance of a steady sport for most of the day. But hopefully that little montage there just shows what UK rivers have to offer, and get out there fishing them, and you never know what you might find, and you can have a good day's fishing. So let's get back to it. And that is the best fish of the day so far. A lovely fin perfect river roach. On the stick float. Great to be back on the river again, really is. Beautiful fish. And that's what I love most about the rivers. The peace and the quiet. It's a Sunday morning, and I imagine the world will be a bit later waking up today after what England did to Sweden yesterday. But the birds singing, and just the noise of water going over rocks down there. It's a beautiful time of morning. And obviously working in an office, I get lots of questions about what do I see in fishing. I think that just speaks for itself. All the reflections and the sun just coming through there. Beautiful. Another small chublet coming to the net. But I have to say, after seeing that last one with them cut marks on it, picking them out the water suddenly become a bad idea, I think. Right, so there's another roach. As predicted, when the sun come up, the bites kind of died off a bit. So it's not been as prolific as the start. But a few of these, just keeping the swim ticking over. And in the baking hot sun, it took a while to come, but that's a better chub, and the bites are very few and far between now, so we'll call this one the last one. Right, there's the final net of fish. I say a nice mixed bag, some nice chublets in there, probably up to about a pound, and plenty of bites on the stick float. About midday, and we've called it a day because it's absolutely boiling hot and the bites have completely gone now. But yeah, an enjoyable morning on the stick float. Hope you enjoyed the video. Tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.